All right, guys, I've got another lesson for you today. I'm going to talk real fast because I only have a couple minutes to record this thing, so I might kind of blow through it, but it is a review of what you've been working on already, okay? So in our book right here, today you are going to work on page number 75. So like I said, this does look a lot like some of the other pages that you've been working on. It looks like the page you worked on last lesson, but it's just going to be involving bringing in a couple different numbers that you haven't been working, or different parts of the numbers that you've been working with. It does involve our balance a little bit, but I kind of came up with a different way for you to do it. We do have our balances. We want to talk a little bit about numbers again. Remember that a balance needs to have the same amount of cubes in it for it to balance out. So I'm just going to do a couple little problems for you. Let's say we've got our little balance and we're going to add some cubes in. So let's say we're going to balance 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cubes. Okay, I've got 7 cubes right here. I'm going to put them in my little guy. We're going to watch that move straight down, hopefully. We managed to get the one thing that doesn't really work. I'll be right back. I'm going to go get the right thing that works. All right, so we've got our 7 orange cubes. I now have a balance that works. I'm going to put it in the yellow. It is going to drop the yellow down to the ground. Right now it is equal because the balance things are on the same level. So I'm going to put it in here. We watch that the yellow goes all the way down. Our balance is no longer equal. We know that because one of them is way high, one of them is down to the ground. We can start thinking about how we're going to make these things equal. Equal is another word for the same. By thinking about what numbers we might want to put in this particular side of the thing. So I pulled out some green cubes, and I pulled out, I guess I'm pulling out currently while talking to you, some blue cubes. And we're going to think about how many go into it to make it equal out. Like I said, this is a skill you guys have been working on, thinking about for the other couple of lessons too. So we've got our 7. We're going to add cubes till it goes equal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Okay? So on each side of our equation right now, we're thinking about this thing like our equation. We have 7 cubes over here equals 7 cubes. So there's 7 cubes in each bucket. But what if we want to think about this 7 as numbers that we can break apart? So if I break this apart, this 7, I can just break it in half, kind of. We can think about 2 different numbers. We can think about the number 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 3. 1, 2, 3. It's still 7, but it's been broken into 2 different numbers. And we can show that in our little thing. We'll leave our 7 together over here. We'll take out our blue cubes, but let's think of it like this. I'm going to use 4 blue cubes, okay? And I'm going to put them in there. It didn't make it equal out because it's not enough cubes. We need to make up the difference. So how many green cubes would it need to make these things equal out? Let's try that. Ooh, missed. All right, I added some cubes until it equaled out, till the balance got level. And now we can find out how much that is. So we got our blue cubes together. And we're going to put our green cubes together. We're going to count them. And we've got 1, 2, 3. So 3 green cubes plus 4 blue cubes. Put them together, and it equals 7 cubes. It's actually the same size. There's 7 in each little thing. And if we put them both in our little equation balance machine, I'll just put them on top so you can see them. They balance out, they're the same. You guys don't necessarily, you don't have these little cubes at home, or these things right here. So I kind of came up with a different way for you to do it. In case you're still having some trouble with it, you can come up with a way to kind of make your own balance and do it like this. So I make 3 circles. Okay. So we'll think of this like 2 numbers that we want to add together and equal one side. So this is kind of like our yellow side, and these 2 right here would be kind of like our red side, okay? So another way to show this particular thing that we just did, you can take out your little counters that you have, and you'll put your 7 cubes in one circle. You'll put your green cubes in the other, and your blue ones in there. And you think of it like 3 counters plus 4 counters would equal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So these 2 together are 7, and over here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So if you guys don't have balances and you really do need to just draw drawings to make sure to try to balance these out, you're more than welcome to do that. This will kind of help you with that idea, or it might confuse you more. I don't know, I didn't really think about it all that much, but hopefully it helps you out with it when you're doing your page. Come on over here, I'll show you the page. Can you pause it for 1 second, Miss Stark? We on? So the reason I made these circles is because on our balances that we've been working with, it involves having one whole number, and then you've got to figure out the 2 numbers that they're adding together, okay? So my big circle over here is going to be the one that has the whole number on it. So this one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 things. So over here, I would take my 7 counters and put them in there. For my trying to figure out what number I'm missing right here on this side of the balance, I got to take what I start with. This is called a given. So I'm given this many balls. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I start with 6 counters over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then I got to figure out what I'm missing to make these the same, okay? And now that I've got my little counters, I can actually just put my book down and kind of look at my counters. So these 2 circles added together will equal this much. I've got 7 here, okay? So what I need to do is keep counting until I hit 7. And if I can't hit 7, I'm going to have to add some into my big blank circle here. So I'm going to put these in a nice little line. I know that my number that I'm going for is 7, so I got to hold that in my brain while I'm counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's not enough, so I need to add over here. But if I want to keep counting past 6, I've got to kind of just count into my next circle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I picked up one of my little blue counters and added it in here. Now I know that I have 6 here plus 1, and 6 here plus 1, well, that equals 7. So what did I add to this circle? That's going to tell me what goes into this box, okay? So I added 1 cube. So on my little thing here, I'm going to add a 1 circle. Then I got to put the numbers right down here underneath. So I knew that I started with 7. So I'm going to write the number 7 right there. I know that I started with this many in the problem that it gave it to me. So I'm going to write 6 right there. Okay. This is the one that I needed to find. 6 and blank balances 7. We knew the 6. We knew the 7 already. And now because we figured it out and counted on and made them equal, we now know that we needed 1. So that's what we're going to do. For this next one, you only get to know this part, which is very, very tricky. So you got to count this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we know that this one is 8. And then when you're making your little pictures, it's gonna look like this. There's gonna be nothing over on this side. We got nothing over here, okay? You get to make up your own number you're gonna break it into. What are you gonna put in these two circles to make them equal 8 when you add them together? And you get to decide as far as I can see right here. So just make sure that it doesn't go over 8 because you gotta have the same over here, the same number over here in this circle that you do in these two circles, okay? So you get to decide which two you wanna use there. So that is the work that you're gonna be doing. I want you to look at the ones that you already know or can count and fill in those boxes. Right here, there's a yellow and a purple. How many yellow ones? That goes in this box. How many purple ones? That goes in this box. And then how many would you need to equal out would go over here. And this one you get to figure out on your own as a bonus question. Or not as a bonus question, but give it your best shot question. So that's our lesson for today. You're working with equality and making sure equations are balanced out. Those are all the math buzzwords. It's supposed to be a little difficult. It's a very new idea for you guys to be making equations. That's the next thing that's coming down the way. So don't get too frustrated. Don't get too mad at yourself if you don't know how to do it right away. I didn't know how to do it right away either. It took me a long time to figure it out, but you can figure it out. So just keep working on it as best you can. Finish up that math page, take a picture, send it to your teacher so they know how you did on it, and we'll see you next lesson.